How's it going? I do not have a mic right now, so let me fix that. And if anything, I'm not really too worried about it. The audio quality might be a little bit worse on this one, but hopefully the content is worthwhile for you guys. So my name is Tim. I'm the founder of TradeLab. I have made my family and myself personally $1.7 million in the stock market over the past 5 years or so. Turned $200,000 into a bunch of money, like $1.9 million. And today I'm going to show you a framework that has become clear to me that basically every successful trader, investor, what have you, uses to have success in the markets, right? And we're going to be looking at it shortly, right? But you can apply this framework, like this way of thinking, I guess you could say, to basically any part of your life, right? And at its foundation is basically iteration, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, right? Until you are successful, right? Like, don't give up, right? And when I say the same thing, you'll see shortly, I don't necessarily mean the same thing, right? But basically trusting the process, right? And to the extent that you have long-term success, right? So, and this framework, along with making myself and my family money, has also made other people money. We've helped thousands of people launch trading bots through TradeLab and our platform. And so, without further ado, I do want to go ahead and share this with you, right? It will be a little bit more of an unstructured video, and this is it right here. Okay, this is the platform. Sorry, this is the framework, and I'm going to play around with the view. I'm not sure if this view is better or this view. I think I'm going to play around with this view for the time being. And so, yeah, this is the framework. This framework is, if you think about Warren Buffett or Jim Simmons or you name it, any successful trader or investor has followed this framework, right? And they may not even be aware of it. They may not be able to elaborate on it, right? But I'm pretty good at pattern recognition. And basically, this is the framework that I have come up with to synthesize what you need to learn and what you do not need to learn, right? There's so much information out there for traders and for investors, for newbies, right? You can go on Instagram and find, thousands and thousands of people who are teaching you how to trade. You can go to YouTube and find more people who are trying to teach you how to trade. I'm trying to teach you how to trade, right? Who isn't trying to teach people how to trade these days, right? And you might be overwhelmed with how much is out there, right? And what works and what doesn't, right? And this framework isn't about telling you what works and what doesn't. It's teaching you how to find out what works and what doesn't, right? It's the overarching framework to kind of help you think about, how do I get to success eventually, right? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when with this framework, right? And that's basically, I try to encompass, right, the entire journey that a trader goes through, right? From beginner to intermediate to advanced, right? Beginners need to start by learning the basics. And then once you have learned the basics, you can then go on to test your strategies, right? Which is due diligence. And then from there, you go ahead and launch a trading bot, right? Or automate your trading. You can do that through either, technology, which is what we do at TradeLab, or by hiring employees, right? Which is what Warren Buffett does and many other, hyper successful traders do, right? But unless you're trying to start a business, employees are not going to be the way to go. You're going to want to basically hire a robot, right, a computer, to do your trading for you, right? And so, again, beginners, they start by learning the basics, right? So Warren Buffett went to Columbia Business School, right? I also believe he went to Wharton, right? Well, I think he went to Wharton and then he dropped out and he went to Nebraska, University of Nebraska, right? And then after that, he went to Columbia Business School where he studied under Ben Graham, right? So he learned what investing was. And he also read a bunch of books as a kid, right? But over here in learning the basics, you have to learn who the players are, right? And the participants are in the market, right? So if you don't know who a retail trader is or what a retail trader is, what an institutional trader is, what a brokerage, right? You need to figure out these basic things before you could move on to other concepts, right? The reason being is right, you need to kind of understand how things work, okay? If you don't know where you fit into the puzzle and you're kind of just clicking buttons randomly on Robinhood, right? Or randomly on NinjaTrader, or randomly on any one of these places, and you don't even know how you got there, and you don't know really who you are and what you're doing, and you're just praying for the best, that's a surefire way to lose a ton of money, okay? So you have to learn these core components first, right? After you learn who the market participants are, and and the kind of the structure of how the markets work, right? Then you can talk about what is actually being traded in the markets, right? Which are the assets, right? What are stocks? What are bonds? What is a currency? What is a commodity, right? You need to understand the underlying components of these things before you can move on to more complex topics, right? So basically it's like, who are the people involved? What are they buying and selling, right? Or what are the like the little things that are being traded? What is actually being traded? You have to know those things, right? A lot of retail traders are just kind of going and clicking buttons and praying that they make money, right? And again, people are like, stock trading, investing, it's gambling. Yeah, if you don't know what's going on, it is gambling, surely, right? But if you know these foundational topics, right? And again, this is literally just the basics, right? We're going to go into a lot more a little bit later. If you don't know these basics, I don't understand how you could expect to be successful, right? You need to invest some time and some effort and some energy into learning these things, okay? Next up is order types, right? So again, you can go to, it's pretty clear when you go to the grocery store, right? And you want to buy an apple, who the participants are, what you're buying. This is also a pretty interesting component where like maybe a grocery store is different than the stock market, right? Which is order types, right? Like at the market, right? At the grocery store, you're pretty much buying everything as a market order, right? You're buying at the price right now. But if you're buying with a limit order, like grocery stores don't really allow you to do that, right? A limit order is buying for a specified price. Like I specify what price I want to buy, right? So maybe if you are like bartering, right? You go to like a farmer's market, right? Or something like that. You could kind of maybe barter with them and say, I will buy this many apples at this price. And maybe you walk away and you come back and the farmer is ready to do the deal, and boom, you do the deal, right? And that's kind of what a limit order might be in regular life situations, right? After that, you need to know what the instrument types are, right? Again, this is different than any other sort of market. There's instruments here, right? Which is an ETF, an option, futures, right? Figuring out what these things are is so crucial, right? Before you go into the next phase, which is strategies, right? Or indicators, right? And whether or not you want to, use technical or fundamental analysis, right? What is technical and what is fundamental analysis, right? And how do you use those to begin making trading decisions, right? You have to know these things, right? Beginners must start at trading 101, right? Then they must go find a strategy, right? Most trading influencers on Instagram and YouTube, they teach you one strategy, okay? Like you don't really know what you're getting into, but like you see testimonials and you see whatever, right? Like these success stories. And what the success stories are is a trading influencer will teach one strategy to his group, right? Or to their group, or maybe 2 or 3, right? At max, really, I've seen 3 strategies, maybe, right? And again, the people who are buying these things are not understanding the basics. They're going straight to a strategy and kind of praying that it works, not really understanding how to test it, not really understanding, the fulfillment end of things. And they're kind of just relying that this trading guru is being honest and truthful, right? They don't know how to call bullshit, right? This framework, right, along with the tools and the software that we have inside of TradeLab, helps you call bullshit, right? You need to be able to back test. You need to be able to paper trade. You need to be able to kind of understand what different analytical concepts are, right? Like there is different metrics you can monitor, right? Like the Shorentino ratio, the Sharpe ratio, and there's the win rate, profit factor, right? Understanding some of these analytics, right? Which is again getting to the intermediate level, right? When you're in the intermediate level, you could test your own strategies, right? And begin to be able to call bullshit on whatever you want, right? And so yeah, super important that you learn these things. And inside of TradeLab, right? Which again, the link is down below if you want to go deep into this stuff. And I'll make future videos. And if you want to subscribe or follow, right? I'll make future videos where I go deeper into these things. But again, if you just subscribe using the link down below to our software to like actually use TradeLab, this is something that I can send you, right? Each of these little blue things are links with videos, right? Where I go over each of these questions and answers in detail. And I believe there are already some on my YouTube where I answer a lot of these questions. I use TradeLab to actually answer these questions. It's just so crucial that you have this basic understanding, right? And again, we are on a mission to get to 1,000 followers, subscribers, whatever platform you're watching this on. We're close on YouTube and Instagram. So if you could help me get there, that'd be super awesome. Share this video if it's helpful. And again, so everyone kind of goes through this, right? Warren Buffett didn't know about these basic things. He didn't have a strategy, right? Now he's a value investor, right? That is his strategy. He believes in fundamental analysis, right? And he's tested it rigorously, right? He understands the rate of return he needs to meet his financial objectives, right? And so again, the green arrows means you have passed this point. You have got a check mark, an A+, right? So once you understand all these things, move to the next thing. Once you have your strategy, you want to use technical or fundamental analysis. You have identified some indicators you want to use or whatever, right? You go to the next thing, right? Which is backtesting. Start testing this thing out, right? Monitor the analytics, paper trade it. Or down here, you can also paper trade it, right? So again, I consider paper trading kind of be like a somewhere in between like, advanced and intermediate stage, because this is still something that is basically testing, right? But still you're in live markets, right? You're participating in live markets. So this is all historical stuff. And with that historical evidence, right, and those analytics, then after that, you have to come up with your own objectives financially, right? You have to come up with your own goals. And this is so much different than pretty much what every other trading influencer or trading guru or trading coach is preaching out there right now, from what I could tell. Most of the time, they're just like, here's my strategy, use it, it will work. I'm saying that 95% of strategies do not work, will not work, right? You need to find one that does, right? And then ideally automate it, okay? And again, TradeLab will help you learn all this basic stuff, learn strategies, will help you backtest, will help you figure out if it's worth it or not. And we'll eventually be able to help you automate it, right? And again, these green arrows means you passed, the stage. And again, these red arrows, I haven't described what these are. If you are not happy with the results of your backtest, that's not because backtesting doesn't work, right? That's not because everything works. The process works, right? What doesn't work is your strategy, okay? So you need to go back and you need to find a new strategy, right? So this process is unavoidable. If you want to be a trader, if you want to be a successful investor, you cannot escape this framework, okay? It is effectively truth. And you might have different due diligence, right? So test your strategy. Some people don't believe in backtesting, right? So even Wall Street people may not believe in backtesting. They may not be a part, like Warren Buffett doesn't believe in backtesting, right? Because he is a fundamental analysis guy, right? He doesn't care, right? But he might also believe in backtesting because he reads, 10Ks, right? Like 5 years worth of 10Ks to come up. So he looks at the past to predict future performance. And that's really what you're doing too with technical analysis, right? So in a way, he does do backtesting. But again, everyone's due diligence process will look different. But in terms of testing your trading, you need to have some way of testing your trading before you go and launch a bot, right? So, and again, before I move on to like what it takes to launch a bot, determining whether or not it's worth it you need to come up with your own financial objectives, right? And this is the second piece of what I was saying earlier. This is so much different than what every other trading coach or trading guru is saying out there right now. Dude, if you don't know what your goal is, right, or how to get there or what it requires to get there, you're just going to have a hard time, again, hitting your goals, right? So one of the things that I always preach is go to like an investment calculator, right? And maybe in a future video, I'll do this, right? This one will be pretty short. Go to an investment calculator and type in your goal net worth or goal number you want to hit, right? If it's $1 million, type in $1 million. Put in how much you're investing right now, and then run a calculation to see what interest rate you need to hit in order to achieve that number, right? And how much additionally you need to invest per month to hit that number. And then you go and find a strategy that allows you to hit that number, that's proven to hit that number over the past 5 years, right? And then again, after that, you basically just wait, right? You automate it, you connect your brokerage, you connect your paper trading account, right? Or your live trading account, you assess the results. If the results are good, move on to the next one. Continue doing this, right? Until you are successful, until you hit your goal, right? And again, success in my world is a fully automated trading bot trading for you 24/7 that is winning, that is meeting your financial objectives, right? So again, and really this right here, like the one thing that I don't like about this, and I've shown it to, I've shown it over and over, and it's been in my brain since I was like super young. I'll probably move this one up. I'll probably move this one up here, honestly, right? Like maybe even before trading 101, which is, what are my goals? Let's start there. What are my goals? Do I want to be a millionaire? Do I want to be a billionaire? What do I want to be with my money? Okay. That is this, right? And then once you have that, let's start learning about the basics, right? And then after that, let's learn about strategies and let's test it, right? Let's try to find a strategy that actually reaches my financial objectives. And then once we find that, right, let's automate it, right? And admittedly, I probably will move these two to testing, right? These little guys right here to testing, or probably maybe even these three to testing, right? And move worth it into beginner, right? Because the first thing you need to do is understand what are your goals, man, right? And then once you have a good idea and a good understanding of your goals, it's a lot easier to get there, right? And a lot easier to determine what you're willing to sacrifice in terms of time and money and effort to achieve your goals, right? Because, and again, like the fun thing is with trading, it's so much different than like business, right? Trading, it's really just a math formula, right? Like Elon Musk makes fun of Warren Buffett all the time because Warren Buffett really takes no risk, right? He's not building rocket companies and hoping that people buy his stuff, right? Buy his rocket ship to do satellite stuff, right? Warren Buffett does not have to risk anything because he literally just runs numbers, right? Looks at the numbers, if the numbers are going up, and they have good cash reserves and they meet all these like checklists basically, right? Then Warren Buffett just puts money in there and waits. Very boring. It's very boring, right? That is what good trading and good investing is. It's not like ooh, I hope it goes up. It's not that, right? Good trading, good investing is very boring because before you like you've done so much research before you put your money into something. You already know what's going to happen, right? Good trading, good investing, it's not risky. It's actually the opposite, right? You've done so much research. You know exactly what your goal is. And you know exactly, you've done all the research to be pretty damn sure that this strategy, right, with this asset, with this instrument type is like, a 90% chance that you'll hit your goals. That you basically just need to sit back and relax and just like not do anything stupid, not sell when the market's down, right? Because the market inevitably will go down, right? And so anyways, that is the framework. And again, we're going to be teaching how to iterate your way to success. Okay. And another piece of that, right? And there's a framework, right? But there's also software. with this, right, which is TradeLab, where basically you could use AI to achieve all those things. Okay, it's pretty damn cool. I'll show it to you right now. I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. So this is a login page here. So again, this is TradeLab, okay? You're able to, if you're a beginner, right, learn about stocks, right? You could ask the AI, what is a stock, right? And the AI will think and will give you a robust answer, right? If you want to learn about commodities trading, if you want to learn about, bond trading, if you want to learn about crypto trading, currency trading, whatever you want to learn about, the AI will actually, right, give you a really robust definition. If you want to learn more about common stock, right, you could continue this conversation and tell them, hey, tell the AI, hey, tell me more about dividends. What the hell are dividends, right? What the hell is a shareholder, right? What the hell is an asset, right? What the hell is whatever, right? You can ask it anything you want, right? And so this is so crucial for beginner traders who don't really know, what things are, right? And I'm going to go back in this mode. You can ask this thing whatever it is you want, any questions you have. I'll try this here. I may not like this. I worry about because I'm gonna go slice this up for like shorts, like Instagram shorts or reels or whatever. So I worry about like how that might look a little bit later. But so yeah, but for beginners, you have everything here, right? You can ask, what are retail traders, right? And again, you can get all of your questions related to trading answered here, right? And again, this is literally just the beginning. This is meant for beginners, right? Now, when we get into the the later stages of beginner trading, right? When you want to find a strategy, right? And you get the answers for, what is a stock, what is a retail trader, right? You get all those answers of trading 101. When you want to move into the strategy section, give me 10 strategies, right? And you ask the AI to give you strategies, right? Again, a trading coach or a trading guru or, these people, these influencers online will charge thousands of dollars for one strategy that's really not proven. With the power of AI, right? And this is any AI. This is not just TradeLab. You can go to, any AI and they'll give you 10 trading strategies, right? But the fun part about TradeLab, right, is, let's say, you've done research on this strategy. And by the way, if you have questions, the pros and cons, you can ask like, what are the pros and cons of number 3, right? And you can do that with any one of these, right? Any strategy you want, right? You can learn more about it, right? And how it's calculated. You could do however much research you want, right? The pros and cons, you can ask it just like any other AI, just like ChatGPT, just like Anthropic, right? Literally the exact same. But the difference is, right, when I want to go and automate this, right? So please automate this. Let's say, I think, so let's go strategy 3, right? So again, when we're ready to automate, we literally just tell it to automate, right? And again, the automation component of it takes a little time. I have to answer all these questions. Again, for the sake of this video, I've already built a ton of different strategies. I may have already built this one. Breakout trading, I think I already have, yeah. So there's a few different breakout strategies that I've already automated here, right? But again, if you want to automate your trading, you just literally answer these questions and press generate strategy, and then it will build you a bot just like this, okay? So let's go and try to find, there's a breakout strategy here. This is another breakout strategy, but these are not on. You can see the one with the green little light is on. And I kind of want to show you one that's on, right? So I could show you like the full analytics and stuff. But so let's go to this one here. So this is what it looks like, right? When we want to go and actually backtest, when we want to automate a strategy, when do the more advanced stuff, right? Whether it's an intermediate level or advanced sort of tactic, you press generate strategy, and then it does this, right? It totally gives you, your settings. It creates this whole window where you can go and launch a bot if you want, right? Select your ticker, launch a bot, do all this stuff. And if any of this stuff is too advanced, feel free to leave a comment and let me know to kind of break things down a little bit further for you, right? But or if you want to work one-on-one with me, and I'll explain this stuff as much as you want, you can have my full attention. Happy to do that as well. The link is down below in the description. Feel free to click that sucker, and we can work together. But so day one, and again, if you want access to the software too, that is the same link in my description as well. So for day one here, NVIDIA, right? If we want to go and back test the last 100 days, right, which is looking at the last 100 days of performance on the 1 minute chart, right? This is almost like half a year, right? Sorry, not half a year. It's actually like almost a fourth of a year, a quarter of a year. You can see the win rate, you can see the P&L, you can see the profit factor, you can see all of this great data in one spot, right? So before you risk your money, you already know for the last 100 days, you're in for a 72% win rate. And again, past is not prologue, but it is basically all we have, right, to predict the future, right? The only reason we know the sun, or the only reason we believe we know the sun will not die out in the next 5 minutes is because the last, eon, the sun is not burnt out, right? So we kind of just have to trust that the future will have similar results to the past, right? And that's kind of, what we do, right, as humans with uncertainty. And so, again, you can see all the data here. You can see the equity curve, and you can see the entire trade history, the wins, the losses, everything. And again, we also can monitor, this is once we've already launched the bot, right? We can monitor the analytics of the live bot, right? And so this is my paper trading bot. We've made $23,000, right? It's over, so I got 23% return on this thing, or over 23%. I think I'm only trading like 10 grand. And this might be like up 200%, honestly. It's insane. Yeah, look, I started with, this is actually just the P&L. So this is just the profit. But I've made a ton of money with this strategy here. And you can look at the entire trade history right here. There's so many pages of it. And again, if I want to change this from a paper trading bot to a live trading bot, it's literally just a flip of a switch, right? And that's TradeLab for you, okay? Super simple stuff. It's meant for beginners, intermediates, and advanced people. If you already have a trading strategy that you just want to automate or backtest, right? You just type in buy when this happens, sell when this happens. You just type in your entry conditions and exit conditions, and it will be fully automated for you, right? Again, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm going to end this video real quick. We are on a mission for 1,000 followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call it, whatever platform you're on, it's different. You get the point though, right? So again, feel free to follow me. If you know someone that's interested in trading or investing or wants to become better at it, right? That's the key thing. If you don't want to be better, this is not the page for you. The people who are subscribed here want to get better at trading, want to get better at investing. And that's what I will be teaching, right? And showcasing, right? I'll be showcasing technology and frameworks to help you improve your trading and investing. So if you're interested in that or know someone that is, feel free to follow or subscribe, comment, whatever it is, right? Engage. We want to build a movement around this stuff. So we would love to have you, right? Secondly, again, if you want to work with me one-on-one, there's a link down in the description. Click that link and let's get together and build something special, okay? So anyways, I'll be signing off for now. Talk to you soon. I'll be posting shorts throughout the week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Again, subscribe for that. And I'll see you next week, okay? Peace.